Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust meeting. The first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the August 26, 2014 Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust meeting. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. It's moved in second. We'll vote. Motion passes. The second item on the agenda is our financial reports.
On the financial reports, all we have this month is a ratification of payments in the format that you've normally seen them. We recommend approval.
Are there any questions? I'll entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
It's moved in second. We'll vote. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the final plans and specification. Item A is to approve the final plans and specifications for Jackson Elementary School paving improvements and authorize the secretary to advertise for bids to be received September 30, 2014. This is project ES0067A.
This is associated with the project at the renovation at Jackson Elementary, which we used to refer to as Columbus at Jackson, but it's recently been renamed Jackson Elementary. During the process of construction, it became apparent that some significant paving renovations really need to be done to the school, some additions to accommodate the dropping off and picking up of students for the safety of the students and both the vehicular traffic that comes through the property. So what we did is we broke this out as a separate project. It's been designed, and this is design is ready to go out for bid, and we would recommend proceeding.
Madam Chairman, members of the trust, Lance, I just noticed this on this item and the next item. It says to be received a week from today.
Yeah, because these items were prepared for the trust meeting 2 weeks ago that we did not have, and so the bids will now be received on October 14th. I apologize for not noting that.
Okay.
But it's October 14th on both this and the next item.
That date is not correct then on the agenda item.
Yeah, it's just an error on the memo which can be corrected by a notation. It doesn't need to be amended. Just correct the bid opening date.
And that also goes for the second item as well. Is there any unreadiness, or may I entertain a motion for item 4A?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We'll vote. The next item is approving the final plans and specification for Northeast Academy for Health Services and Engineering, basement fire suppression, and authorize the secretary to advertise bids to be received, I don't know what that date is, October 14th, 2014. This is project ES0080A. Lance?
This is similar to the other one. This came to our attention during the course of the construction project, that there was a significant space below the building that was actually did have access to by staff, and so therefore it needed to be sprinkled. We've been working with the fire marshal on this project, and like the other one, the bids will be received on October 14th, so we're prepared to go out to bid and would recommend approval.
Are there any questions?
Are both funded through program contingency?
Yes.
Additional questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Move approval. Second.
Moved in second. We'll vote. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is item 5, which are change orders, and we have 3 there. The first is change order A to approve change order number 11 for Webster Middle School, increase of $62,768. This is project ES006. The second is item B to approve change order for number 9 for Taft Middle School. This is a decrease of $49,700. 613, and it's project ES0072. And item C is to approve change order number 12 for Emerson Alternative School, an increase of $7,268.42. This is project ES0079. Lance, you want to walk us through those?
Okay. On the Webster change order, the major item there is a sewer line replacement, and in the course of construction, one of the things that we were doing was adding some restrooms to this project, and when we added those restrooms, we were having some issues with them draining properly with the drains, and so in the course of investigating those, we discovered that there was a pre-existing condition, some settling in the lines that we were tying into, and in order to get those to function properly, we had to do a sewer line replacement for that sewer line that had actually settled. So that's the main item there at $46,754. On the Taft, it's a decrease because we'd taken a significant deduct change order earlier in this project. The three main items there are some smart boards at $6,981, and then a paving credit. In the course of the project, we found out that the way the traffic flowed on the site didn't require some of the additional paving that we originally thought we were going to, so we were able to have some savings there. And then there's electrical connections to some sump pumps. And then the major item here has to do with a heat exchanger. And we were originally going to purchase and install a heat exchanger ourselves, and in working with the school district, they've agreed to do the installation on that. So all we're doing is buying a heat exchanger. So that credit is for the purchase and installation, and then we're doing an actual just straight purchase of an item. So it nets out like $55,000 in savings in being able to work with the district and them assisting us in installing this. So the other change order is for Emerson Alternative School. The renovation portion of this project was pulled out and rebid, and this item has to do with the addition. And the major item there is additional electrical equipment to meet some code requirements that came forth in the inspection process.
Are there any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll vote. All right. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, item 6 is a finals acceptance. Item A is to accept the Rogers Middle School project and place the maintenance bond in effect. This is project ES0068. Lance, you want to walk us through that one?
Well, these are the good news. We like to finish the project, so we've got two of them. We're at Rogers Middle School and Classen School of Advanced Studies, and both of those had inspections with ourselves and the school district staff, and everything's in order, and we would recommend approval of both of these items.
And for the record, this is item B, to accept Classen School of Advanced Studies Phase 2 project and place the maintenance bond in effect too, and this is ES0082/S70014. Questions? I entertain a motion.
I will make the motion.
Your second?
Second.
All right. Motion passed. Oops, I got to vote first, don't we? Motion passes. All right, we have several concurrence items, and because of the nature and scope, I think I'll read each one of these. This is item number 7A, concurrence with Independent School District number 89 in approving the preliminary report. This is I-89 2007 School Bond Issue Project S70008, Gymnasium at Lee, Britton, Arthur, Thelma Parks, and Willowbrook Elementary School. Yes.
The preliminary report for this project was attached to your packet, and we would recommend acceptance of the preliminary report and moving forward with the next phase of design on this project. One of the things to note on this is that There's, safe rooms are included in this, modifications to the gymnasiums, and the safe rooms were not anticipated in the initial cost estimates for these projects. However, in consultation with the school district, we decided to, include safe rooms as part of the preliminary report. The additional funds, approximately $1.67 million that the school district was going to need to find to proceed with these projects. They've done so. They approved these projects on, I believe it was September 15th at the school board. So the approval of these items is acknowledgement of that they indeed have identified funds to move forward with the safety of these projects.
Yes, sir.
When you say they were identified funds, is that from the I-89 bond issue, or is it from another source?
My understanding is from the bond issue.
Okay,
Go ahead.
this is not for staff.
Okay.
Should I go ahead?
Well, yeah, go ahead. You want to make a comment on this particular issue?
Yeah, I'm going to comment on each one of these that includes the safe rooms. I did some preliminary talking about this, but again, where the budget for the bond issue did not include the safe rooms, I don't think we should be doing them. I think the bond issue funds would be limited, and I think it is unfair for the projects first that were done without safe rooms, simply because of timing. We add safe rooms to the ones that were done after a certain event. I think that's unfair. To the extent that you believe that safe rooms are a high priority, then I think that we should be doing a de novo look at all the facilities in the school district to place safe rooms in all of them. And to the extent that we decide to put safe rooms in all of the schools, I think the gymnasium is the worst place to do it. It's the tallest structure in the building, which means it's first going to be the most expensive place to put a safe room in. And secondly, it is the most storm unsafe place in the building because it's the highest structure. I just think this is a very foolhardy way to go about adding such a substantial amount to these bond issue projects that were not anticipated to include safe rooms.
And I guess my question would be, is this the recommendation of the school board to do this? This is a bond.
That's my understanding. Is that correct, Lance? It was a recommendation of the school board to add the safe rooms?
To the gymnasium?
Yes, I mean, in the preliminary report contains safe rooms, and then this item's already been to the school board, so the school board approved this item, and it's coming here for concurrence.
Are they to be included as an alternate, or are they part of a base bid?
I believe they're alternates. They're alternates, right? The plan is to move forward with them as alternates. But once again, this is a preliminary report on these projects right here.
I guess I'm looking for some guidance from staff. If there's some unreadiness based on the information that we've been provided, is there some discussion that we do need more clarification on why they chose the gymnasium versus, is that because it's part of the gymnasium bond money?
Yes, I think that's the only thing that's being constructed as part of this project is a gym.
This is true.
So there would not be an opportunity under this project to put a safe room elsewhere.
Are there any other questions or comments? I guess one of the, to Anthony's point, is that we understand that the safe rooms are needed, but is the gymnasium the best place? But if it's bond money, the trust, we really don't, we don't have, it's their money, we just have to, we have to vote on their recommendation, right? Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, come on. Maybe perhaps you can provide us some additional clarification, because if I understand this is an alternate.
Yes, my name is Sandra Johnson. I'm in the MAPS office. And on these two projects, right now we have a choice, but on the next projects that we have coming up, The building code requires whatever you're building, that it be made into a safe room. The architects have looked at these projects, and they're designing them to FEMA safe room guidelines. So where we think it may not be safe, I mean, I have the architect that's saying that it's going to be a good idea. Thank you.
Were those building code changes made before or after the bond issue was passed?
I believe we just adopted the 2009 IBC, and the 2009 IBC is going to require anything that you remodel at a school to be a safe room. So
That's after 2007.
right, but we're just now getting the building permits for them, so they're under the 2009 building code.
Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns? Well, we'll take a vote. I guess I need to call for a motion first before we can vote. I'll entertain a motion to approve the concurrence item A, 7A. Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been motioned and second. We'll vote. Okay, there's a 3-1 vote. Motion passed. The next item on the agenda is item B, which is concurrence with Independent School District Number 89 in approving the final plans and specification for I-89 2007 School Bond Issue Project S70007 Gymnasiums at Hernville, Fillmore, Perry Queen, Rockwood, Eugene Fields, and Edwards Elementary School, and authorizing the Secretary to advertise for bids to be received October 21st, 2014. Lance?
Madam Chairwoman, this is, like I said, approval of final plans and specifications, so they've been through the design process, and we're ready to move forward with putting these out to bid. My anticipation is that the items that you just saw in the preliminary report will be similar to this, in that there will be alternates when we go out to bid for the safe rooms. In addition to the safe rooms, there is also drainage improvements that will be at the Edwards Elementary School to accommodate some of the problems that we've had out there, repeated problems with water infiltration into the building. So that's in addition to the gymnasiums with the safe room alternates. We'd recommend approval.
Are there any questions?
I'll renew my objection again. I am certainly in favor of the project as it was originally envisioned, but I think that we're wasting money. And so I'm going to have to vote against the full project because of the waste of money for the safe rooms in the worst place that it can be.
Any additional comments? So my question for staff is that is the school board aware of the discussion that has been had of late about safe rooms being put in gymnasiums?
Yes.
Okay. So they are aware of that issue?
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll vote. Motion passes 3-1. Next item on the agenda is item C, that's concurrence with Independent School District Number 89 in ratifying the issuance and approving addendum number 1. This is I-89 2007 School Bond Issue Project S7002A, Nichols Hill Elementary School Gymnasium Addition, awarding contracts base bid plus alternates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to Gail Armstrong Construction in the amount of $2,784,267 and approving contract and bonds. Mr. Lance?
This is a project that we've seen before, and we had an issue. We had to rebid this project, so this is coming back before you again. There is, as noted in here, there is it's a partnership between the district and the PTA of the $1.1 million in alternates that are awarded on this project, 320,300 of them are being paid for by the PTA, with the balance $781,000 coming from the school district. So we would recommend approval.
And I understand there is a citizen that wants to speak on this issue, Mr. John Heatley. Mr. Heatley?
Thank you very much. I'm John Haitley. I reside immediately west of the 7-acre tract that is the Nichols Hills Elementary School ground. The initial project was at one time on the east side, where it is back to now, but in June of 2012, when the project was started, it was on the west side of the school ground, right behind all the residents that line along the east side of Glenwood Avenue, which runs north from Wilshire. It's the 7900 and 8000 block of Glenwood. I'm one of the residents in that area, and I'm appearing on behalf of Dr. Steve Mueller and Michael Jones, who are my neighbors on either side, and our backs of our houses are up against the school ground. And the only part of the plan that we're concerned with relates to the restoration of the former building site on the west side of the school ground. And at the time that site was used, they brought in tons of fill dirt and raised the elevation of the school ground a number of feet, where it towers over the fences of all the residents immediately adjacent to that school ground. And it changed the drainage configuration dramatically, such that the water would run off that new elevation down the steep slope and would cascade over the stone retaining walls, which are along all of the residents, the backyard of each of those residents. And as a result of that, there's been considerable erosion around the base of some of those retaining walls. Most of those homes were built in the early 50s. Mine was built in 1953, and it's a stone retaining wall, but the others are basically the same configuration, and they've all experienced that to a lesser or greater extent, depending on exactly where their property is in relation to the built-up and the raised level there. But I do note that in the plan, which was provided to me by Mr. Corvell, he pointed out that there is a retention pond area on the west side where the raised elevation is located now. And it's my understanding that that retention pond will be sufficient to prevent that runoff that we have experienced since that elevation was first raised, and that was in June of 2012 when that plan had been approved and was acted upon. And that's the only reason I'm appearing here today, to just point out our concerns about that, to make sure it is an adequate amount of retention there for that excess water that we've experienced, and also to make sure that the landscaping is going to be part of the plan. And from the plan that Mr. Corvell provided me, there is additional trees being put in that area along the back of our residence because those trees were all removed. The ones that were there, 60-year-old trees, were all removed as part of the build-up of that original west location. And that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Any questions from the trust? Well, Mr. Healy, we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. We'll visit with staff and make sure your items are noted. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on this item, we're another step down the road. This, I believe, will be the first bid award for these gymnasium projects with a safe room added. I would point out that the base bid is above the budget for the project, which means that any alternates that we add will further erode the amount of money that will be available for any other bond projects that come before us in the future. I think that's a bad decision. I think it's a very bad decision for an alternate that adds $538,000 for a safe room in a gymnasium, which is the tallest structure to be built. I actually very much applaud the PT at Nichols Hills for the fundraising that they did for some additional items related to this gymnasium. And I will say that as a parent of 2 children who attended Nichols Hills back when this was a plan, I think I contributed a few dollars to this about 10 years ago. But now we get to the point where this is actually being done, and there are things being added at district, i.e. bond issue expense, that were never anticipated, and that I still believe are being done on a scatterbrained approach that does not consider the placement of this safe room in the worst place to put it. I just think, a more holistic look needs to be done at what we're doing here, even in light of the ordinance change that was pointed out. I don't oppose safe rooms. I question the priority of safe rooms above some other needs like books and that sort of thing. But I question if safe rooms are given priority, why you would place them in the most dangerous place for them to be within the structure of the building. I just think that's a bad decision.
Any other questions, concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion to vote.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion passes 3-1. Next item on the agenda is concurrent item number D, or item D. This is with Independent School District number 89 in approving change order number 4 for I-89 2007 school bond issue project S7003 classrooms and gymnasiums at Parmalee, Hillcrest, Pierce Elementary Schools, and this is an increase of $11,973. Lance?
The main item on this is item number 2, is sprinkler heads. It's $13,940. That was based upon a fire marshal request after the inspection by the fire marshal. We'd recommend approval.
Questions? Comments? Not, I'll entertain a motion to vote, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll vote. Motion passes. Next item is concurrent item number E. This is with, again, Independent School District number 89 in approving change order 5, which is I-89 2007 school bond issue project S7004 classrooms and gymnasiums at Adams, Bodine, Horace Mann, and Kaiser Elementary School. This is an increase of $27,085. Lance? Excuse me, $27,085. I'm not reading correct. Thank you. Lance?
This change order involves one with a cost and one that's an actual credit. They both have to do with the fire department's inspection. The fire marshal recommended an off-street drive that needs to be added at Adams Elementary School at a cost of $31,285 to basically provide the fire department better access. Then there was a fire line credit on the good side for us at Bodine Elementary. We'd recommend approval.
Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
It's been moved and second.
Second.
We'll vote. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is number F, item F, that is for Independent School District number 89 in approving change order number 5. This is for I-89 2007 school bond issue S7005 classrooms and gymnasiums for Mark Twain, Putnam Heights, Southern Hills, Stan Whitey Elementary School, and this is an increase of $34,579. Lance?
This the major item here is number 3. It's DVRs, and at a cost of $18,900. And I'll have to admit that when I was reading through these, DVRs at almost $19,000 really caught my eye. But in further investigating this isn't your run-of-the-mill DVR. This is a large industrial-type DVR that's associated with the security systems at these schools to record all the activities in, all areas of the school so that they can then be reviewed as necessary by security personnel. And we recommend approval.
Are there any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we'll vote. Motion passes. Last, I didn't think we'll get here, but item G is concurrence with Independent School District number 89 in approving change order number 4, I-89 2007 school bond issue project S70012A. This is for Spiegel Stadium located at 510 Southwest Grand Boulevard. This is an increase of $17,605.
As this project's progressed, there's been a number of items that have come forward. The main item on this is number 5. It has to do with the stone wall on the south retaining wall. Some of the stones weren't able to be replaced, the original stones, and so we're going back with some cast stone veneers, and there were some accommodations that needed to be made to that wall as the construction progressed, and so that item's at $7,200, and we would recommend approval of the change order.
Any questions? Anthony? Okay, just checking.
Right on.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, we'll vote. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Second.
Okay, we'll vote. Okay, motion passes. All right, Mr. Clowers, item number 8, an update, please.
Yes, Madam Chairman, members of the trust, we have 6 schools in construction. Classen SAS Phase 2 and Rogers Middle School are completed and were recommended for final acceptance on this agenda today. Roosevelt Middle School is substantially complete and will be recommended for final acceptance in October. Webster and Taft Middle Schools and Columbus at Jackson Elementary are nearing completion. Punch list work is ongoing at John Rex, and construction is ongoing at Emerson. And then the bids were opened today for the final plans for Emerson Alternative School Renovation and Health Clinic, and we anticipate awarding a contract on that project on the 21st of October. As for I-89 bond projects, 8 gyms are complete and final accepted. Construction is ongoing at several schools for gyms and classrooms: Parmalee, Adams, Bodine, Horace Mann, Kaiser, Mark Twain, Putnam Heights, Southern Hills, Sandwady, Buchanan, Gatewood, Johnson, and Oak Ridge Elementary. Construction continues at both Taft and Spiegel Stadiums. Nichols Hills Gym and Safe Room bids were opened September 3rd, and that contract was approved by the school board on September 15th and concurred by this body today. Final plans and specs on Heronville, Fillmore, Prairie Queen, Rockwood, Eugene Field, and Edwards Elementary Schools, new gyms and safe rooms were approved. Contractors approved. The final plans were approved by the school board on September 15th and this body today, and bid opening is scheduled for October 21st. And then the preliminary report for new gyms and safe rooms at Lee, Britton, Arthur, Parks, and Willowbrook Elementary Schools was approved by the school board on September 15th in this body today. The next trust meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 7th at 3 p.m.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Clowers? Okay, if not, we'll move on to program consultant update, and I don't see him here, but is there something in the packet? I don't remember seeing anything in the packet.
Madam Chairman, no, I do not see anything in the packet. Lance, is there anything specific from ADG?
I don't have it in my packet.
Mark's got, it was?
It's the standard report that we get every month from ADG. It should be included at the back of the packet.
Okay, thank you. Any comments from the trustees? Yes, sir.
As we move forward with the preliminary report and designs for the gymnasium projects that have not been finally designed yet or bids awards for yet, I would encourage the school district first and Matt staff second to consider an alternative that was discussed recently in a design meeting that we were having, where apparently at Martin Luther King, where a gym was built before any of this was being discussed, a safe room was included in the gymnasium structure, but in the lower part of the building, in the locker room. Certainly large enough for all of the students in the school to take refuge in case of a storm, but it is not in the most dangerous or the most expensive place to put a safe room. So I would just encourage our architectural designers, the school district, and other patrons to consider that as an alternative if they are to be placed in the gymnasium.
So noted, Mr. Trustee. Any other comments from trustees? Comments from staff? Any additional comments from citizens? If not, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.